Welcome to the Pop Balls, Cameras, and Cars pregame show. I'm Carey Meitzler, along with head coach Seth Smith. We're going to talk about the Wildcats' tough overtime loss last week at Hines, and then we'll talk about the cat fight. That is on the agenda for this week. Coach, first and foremost, back to the game. I hate to go back and have to talk about it. I know it's a very tough loss for you and your ball club, but the effort I thought was really good. Got down this game, fought back. We'll talk about that. But when I had a chance to review the film, I thought the effort was good. I wanted to kind of get your perspective on it.
Yeah, effort was great. I meant what I said after the game. As coaches, it's our job to put them in position, and early on we were just out of position a little bit. Kids played super hard. It was just kind of a gut punch. I'm not ever going to be a front runner. I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and says, "Hey, thank you, Lord," after a big win and cries, and then come in and pout after a loss. The reality is that we've been here long enough, okay, and we've talked about getting over the hump ad nauseum to. That's a must-win. I mean, that's a must-win game. You win that game, you still got a shot this week to beat Jones, get in the playoffs. And look, it's been a wonderful year. Compared to last year, we've made strides. You're talking about breaking in a new offense, 11 new starters. It really has been a great year. But yeah, that one stung as much as any I've been a part of, just because. It was right there. But yeah, kids played hard. If they wouldn't have played hard, we wouldn't have came back. We wouldn't have came back. And I told them all week, and you can tell them till you blue in the face, and we did play hard. But you got to play hard, and you got to trust your coaches. But I love watching pre-games, and a lot of times you can kind of tell a lot about the feel of the game in a pre-game. And I'm watching, and I'm thinking, okay, if we just come out hot, we're going to be in business. Because it's been a tough year for them. We were just coming off a big win against East Mississippi. So the last thing I told our guys was, if you come out and you take momentum early, we can put this thing to bed early. But if you give them life early, it's going to be a 4-quarter war. And I'll be dang if their very first play they don't go 60. And then we tie it up, okay? Right. We tie it up to kind of suck the life back. And then 2 plays later, they throw a bomb for 65.
Right.
So, and then at that point, it's a war. So, yeah, disappointing, but the fight was there.
Second half, we get down. We're down 13-7, kind of what you described there. 2 big plays by them. We had a good drive that Cabe scored on the long run, making a 13-7 ball game to half. But come out in the third quarter, they get to 2 scores quickly on us. They get us down 27-7. Then you start chipping away. You went to Ian Gonzalez to start the third quarter. He did a really good job getting us back into this ball game with his legs, also with his arm. And it just didn't work out for us in overtime. But, I want to go back to this. There were some guys in this ball game. Ian played extremely well coming off the bench for us. I thought he did a remarkable job. And then on defense, A.J. Prim, of course, David Anderson, what a game he had, and Kendrick Sims. Those 3 guys, they played really well for us. At times in this game, I felt like we just, didn't make the play. Maybe didn't get in the right position to make that play, wrong read. Not sure what happened, but again, like you said, the effort was good, and again, AJ and Jalen especially, they gave a great effort.
Yeah, they did, and if we make a couple of those plays early in the first half, we're talking about a win. We're not talking about an overtime loss. We're talking about a win. But, in the third quarter, going into the fourth, they came and they made some plays. To your point about positioning, the effort, and I would tell you, okay, if it wasn't. When we played Gulf Coast, that was our worst effort game for whatever reason. But every other game we fought. But, effort, that's to me, that's the biggest part. But right there with it is the execution. You can't have 2 people chasing the quarterback or 2 people chasing running back. Somebody's always going to have quarterback. Somebody's always going to have running back. So if one guy doesn't do his job, regardless of how hard you're playing, they're going to get big plays. And that was kind of what happened to us early. Now, once we settled in, and I thought Coach Trahan in the second half did a good job of mixing up some fronts. We kind of stunted them up front a little bit to keep them on their toes. I thought that helped. But, again, proud of the fight, but, boy, that was a gut punch. It was a gut punch.
So let's talk about the old cat fight. Jones, they're sitting where we are, 4-4 in the year. They want to go out on a winning note. Their season's been very similar to us. They've had some ups, they've had some downs.
Yeah, you look across the league. Again, not ever going to pout on here, not ever going to make an excuse. Not going to do it. We've been here long enough, you got to win. I'll be the first, you got to win. And again, I am so proud of the progress from last year to this year. Mm-hmm. That's not deniable. I mean, if you watch the games, you can see the product looks so much better, and we're trending in the right direction. But, you know, you look at our schedule, we may be the only team in junior college history to ever beat the number one team in the North and the number one team in the South, and we're not going to the playoffs. Yeah. Also, you look at our schedule and you look around the league at how, you know, there's so much parity. You know, Colin's 4-4, Jones is 4-4, we're 4-4. It just shows you, man, you better check the special teams box, yep. You better check the defensive box, and you better check the offensive box. Because if you leave one unchecked, you're not going to win. You're just not.
This league, the thing I've learned about this league, watching it so many years, and even more since covering here for Pearl River, field position plays so big a part of this ball game. So big. Man, field position in that game the other night was critical for us. They've had some great starting positions a lot of times after kickoffs there in the second half. Shorten the field. The other thing I think that this game here is too is just breaks. And I say breaks. You got to get a break here and there. We had again inopportune penalties, and also I'll just say this. There's a play there where they converted a third down, and their right tackle's got a hold of our jersey. I mean, yeah. Again, can't blame the officials for that. They someone once said you could call holding on every play. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but sometimes the obvious stuff kind of gets to me.
Yeah. Well, on that third down you're talking about, also, we could have created our own break. Our linebackers got the running back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, his eyes weren't on the running back, and guess who they threw it to?
No.
The running back.
Right.
So, yeah. Breaks are created too, like Jalen Anderson getting at it. That's a break. That's a player making a play. Mm-hmm. Offensively we did late, but we need receivers to make a play, like we did against East Mississippi.
Yeah.
When we get to that point where you got players making plays along with the scheme and the effort, that's when it really, really, really starts to ascend. And I know nobody wants to hear this, and they're sick of like, man, this guy But, man, this is the closest we've been since we've been here.
I can attest to that.
I mean, it's the closest we've been. I look at one play, man, our kickers won games for us this year.
Yeah.
That game the other night come down to 1 point going in overtime. Then you look at the week 2 weeks ago at Colin. It's a touchdown called back.
Yeah,
you're 2 or 3 plays away from being in the playoffs, but we just we're close. We're knocking
on the door.
We're knocking.
So cat fight. Remember, I always like to do this when we have these rivalry games. A cat fight memory for you. As a player.
Freshman year. We got beat and got my sternum cracked. So that was that memory. That was
sorry to bring that up.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That was in my quarterbacking days. And again, was so good at quarterback. Sophomore year played linebacker, and I think we lost 16-10 that night, something like that. We went 7-1 my sophomore year. Maxfield come in, he flipped it immediately, and then wound up getting beat to East Central the last game to keep us out of the playoffs and went 7-2. But yeah, not great memories in the cat fight. Sophomore year was a really good game. But, we hope to do better Thursday than what I experienced as a player a long time ago.
One last thing. Thanks for the cap.
Hey, you're welcome.
I mean, you walked in with caps today, man.
Yeah.
I'm like,
shout out to Mr. Pearson. Usually I get all 4 hairs. I usually get all 4 of them cut before I get on here. Did not do that today, so I went with the cap and felt like, even though, we missed the playoffs, it's still been such a better year. I felt, why not reward you with a beautiful, nice white cap? So there you go.
This is no offense to Avalon and Scotty and Oni and everybody else, but man, this is like tops right here. I got to get that shout out in there for you.
Well, look, if I'm far from their level, if I can get anything, maybe a cap. I can match with a cap. Those guys, they'll be in national contention every year. But we're going to get to the point to where we're on the level with Oni and Ivy and the rest of these people here.
Well, I know you are. I believe that, and I attest to that. I've seen the progress, and hopefully get a win against Jones, and just a little bit more springboard into what's going to be a great off season here for Pearl River, getting ready for next year. We don't look beyond this game, but I'm excited about the future. I tell you, I'll attest to this. You know me, I shoot my arrows straight. The improvement I've seen in this ball club in 1 year, and the way we're competing now, and I'll use that word, the way we're competing now, everybody feels it. So we're right there, as you said, knocking on that door.
Well, again, I hate to do it, but I'm doing it. The reality is, now that we have a structured offense, a structured defense, and we're going to keep getting better on special teams, now you start to ascend because you're not going into every offseason trying to figure out, hey, should we run this play, this scheme, or this? That's done.
Right.
Now it's all about elevating the players you have into your system, getting them bigger, faster, stronger, and then going and recruiting and bringing some brothers alongside of them to help us do even more. So, no, this is the best I've ever felt since I've been here. And trust me, it's not a lot of fun when people get to watch your professional life on camera grow through the hard times and the good. And there's been a lot more hard than good since I've been here. But this is the first time, without a doubt, I can look without a doubt. And I know we're finally in a spot where we can ascend. There's no question.
Amen to that. We'll take a break here on the Pawpaws, Cameras, and Cars pregame show. Be back in just a little bit.